Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm out here with Snowball as usual, and got the truck running again yesterday, so happy about that. It still looks good with the green on the injector pump. I just like it more and more as it goes. But that's not the point of the video today. So it's time for part 2 of the M35 cab weatherproofing series. So what we're going to cover today is the sealing and alignment of the hardtop and the door windows. Still don't have the windshields repainted and done and all that yet, so not worried about that, but the hardtop is done, and I'm not going to be putting it on in this video because I can't do it myself anyway, but I do have the back wall on, and that's really the most important part to show you. So what we have here is a door, and we have a window, and we have a 1.5 deuce. When you're aligning your hardtop, and I guess I should go ahead and say, for weather sealing, the alignment of the hardtop is the most important part. If you don't have it properly aligned, it doesn't matter how much sealant or weather stripping you put anywhere, you're going to get wet. So, the nice thing is, they're actually really easy to align. What you want to do is you want to put the back wall on first. That's your first step, okay? And you're going to start with your windows down. You want to close your door, and you want to look at your door gaps, okay? Because it all starts with the doors, honestly. What you want to make sure is that you look at your gap here, and this is called a reveal. You want to make sure it's pretty much even and straight all the way down, okay? Now, it may not always be even. Like if you've got an even reveal on the back, it may not be the same on the front. It may not be the same gap. That's okay. You can have the door closer to the back or closer to the front. It doesn't matter as long as it shuts okay, and you have a good space here between your upright support here and your weather stripping holder there. But you don't want like a minuscule gap at the bottom and a wide gap at the top. That means your door isn't level and you need to adjust your hinges. Now you can do that. You can adjust hinges either by removing the door off of the hinges or just removing the hinge pins. And say if your gap is good on the bottom and too wide on the top, you can just hit the hinge with a hammer a few times and adjust it. That is the preferable way to do it. You don't really want to heat it with a torch and try to bend it with something. You can try just putting a crescent wrench or something on it and bending it, but once again, just hitting it with a hammer, easiest way. So the important part of that is to adjust your door in such a way that when you roll the windows up, it's not contacting the actual metal here when you open and close the door, okay? So let's start with the front, because the front actually affects the back. We'll roll the window up just to where you can see. And you can see we've got real good clearance now. So there is no danger of this metal here actually hitting the inside of here. And that's good, because when your metal of your window frame contacts the weather strip holder, the weather strip channel, it bends the window out, and that wears your track. Now, this could come forward, obviously, yes, quite a bit, because it's right on the end of the weather strip, but that's fine, as long as it's sealing. Yes, there's plenty of room here, but the door shuts perfect. Look. It opens easy, and I just closed that with my thumb. So, okay. So let's look back here. We've got a small gap, but once again, we're making sure that when we close it, the window frame is not hitting or otherwise contacting that metal channel at all, okay? Now, before I forget, because we're here, I want to show you, remember this we replaced in the last video where I told you about it, your weather stripping block down here. Notice that when I close the door, it's not catching that block and bending it. It's just barely contacting it. That's what you want. If your door is hitting it and pulling it or deforming it when you close it, it's not going to last very long. So let's go to the other side. I've got that window all the way up. And I'll show you what we've got here, what you're looking for. I see we've got, once again, a wide gap in the front, and there's no weather stripping on this door. So yes, you can see light through it right now. I still have yet to glue the new weather strip on, and that machine gun ring mount is not on there. I don't think I'm going to put it back on, but if you look at the back, we've got about the same gap we got on the other side. Now, we've got a little more of a gap here, right? And if you look at it, you've got, I don't know what, 3/16 of an inch of gap there. And you got, almost 3/8 at the top, between 5/16 and 3/8, something like that. So what that means is that the top needs to move forward at the top of the top. Well, the back wall needs to move forward at the top, just a hair. That doesn't really matter until you put the top of the top on. Right now, what you want to adjust is the very bottom. And you want a little bit of a gap, okay? Not a huge bunch, but you don't want it so close that that you can't make any more adjustments. Because if you get it super close right here, then when you pull the top over, it's going to close up your gap down here, and you're going to have contact. You don't want any contact between your metal weather stripping, your metal channel, and your window frame. None, okay? And you look right here. I've got to make an adjustment on this. I've got to move it up a little bit because it's contacting the door and it's pulling it. I can't have that. So what needs to happen here is really nothing. This is fine. I can bolt this side down. Of course, I don't have the sealant between it. I need to put the windshield sealant, and I don't know if I want to put it between. I may just go on the very outside, put a big bead in there on the bottom so I can remove it if I ever need to. When you put the top on is when you make your adjustments this way on the back wall. Now the window is where it is, right? So I already know the front's going to be fine there. It's the same as the other side. But if you pay attention, you'll notice that there is a little bit of twist in this back wall, right? And the reason is because the top on the other side over there where we just came from is back. And on this side, I mean, you see how close it is at the bottom. Let's roll the window up. Now that's at the very top. See the problem there? It's contacting the very top of the metal weather strip channel, and it's pushing the window out. Now, if you come down just 2-3 inches, it's not. We come all the way down and we see the gap is even most of the way down. So the top on the other side, the wall needs to come in, and on this side it needs to go out. So we do that by putting the top on and making our adjustments then and bolting it down, because the top is what holds the top of the back wall in position. Now, when you put your top on the top of the truck, you want to start with the front first. Get somebody to help you put it up there and align your 2 bolt holes. And look, if you've never had a hard top on your truck, if you're putting a new one on, still, get a general position that you want without the sealer on it, and then drill your holes and bolt it down. I would suggest with a new install or one that you're redoing, go ahead and loosen up your screws that hold this, because this weather stripping moves just the same as the ones on the windshield frame, okay? It's adjustable, they're slotted. So go ahead and loosen them up and move them all the way inboard towards the inside of the truck as far as you can, so you don't have to worry about that interfering while you're making the top fit. So you bolt the front down loosely, you set the top down on the back, put one bolt in each side, 1/4 inch nut and bolt, and then you either, let's see, I'm getting ahead of myself. Close your doors with your windows up and make sure everything is, there's nothing that's going to be like super interfering with each other. Then you want to take your bolts out here and either prop it up with a 2x4 or have somebody else hold it up while you run your bead of sealer around it. And then you want to set the top back down, adjust it to where you want, adjust your back wall to where it needs to be with your windows up, and then bolt your 2 corner bolts down solidly so the top's not going to move. It is where it is then. Then you can bolt your front down solidly. Now you don't want to bolt the front down super tight, okay? There is a, I'm not even going to try to get under there and show you because the sun is too bright. It'll just wash the camera. There's a multi-ridged weather strip that's made out of rubber on the front there. When you bolt it down, you don't want to sandwich it so tight that you squish it out and just make it crack prematurely. It's just, you want to put a little tension on it, and that's enough. After that, I mean, you're pretty much good to go. You'll have your sealant on the back, you'll have your 2 bolts in the top, you'll have some more bolts in the bottom, obviously, or it wouldn't be staying up there. You'd have knocked it off. And then you just put the rest of your bolts in. Torque everything down, not super tight, they're just 1/4 inch bolts. I suggest stainless. I use 1 inch long stainless bolts and washers and nylon locking nuts for this task. You don't want them things rusting. So after that, you can make your final adjustments on your weather strip on the sides of the wall if they need to move out or in or anything. And then you make your final adjustments on the same on the side of the top that goes across the doorway here. Because you will have loosened them before you put the top on, right? Yes. So you'll need to make your final adjustments there and tighten everything down. And then you should be good to go. You're going to have a nice watertight hard top. And I will mention once again, at least in this video, because I know I did in another one, when you put your back wall in, don't put it on upside down. That drip channel, that's what that is, it needs to be on the top. If you put that on the bottom, you're going to have a whole lot of water coming in that back window, and it's going to rust it out, and you're going to be wet and unhappy. And yeah, so just forewarning you, make sure you put it on right side up. I've seen them come out of the military with these installed upside down. I've seen other people install them upside down. It would seem elementary, but it's not. So, and once again, it is a good idea to go ahead and run a bead of your sealer or something around both sides and even the top of that drip channel if you want. So yeah, I think that's about all there is to that. There is a window height adjustment that I will cover in another video, and that is, you know, where the window stops when you're rolling it up, because some of them can roll up too high, and then when you close the door it hits the hard top, and that's not cool. It's really bad for it. So I will cover that in another video, not this one. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate your time. I appreciate your views. I appreciate all of the likes and the comments I get. It makes me feel better about what I'm doing, that I'm not wasting my time. You know, I spend a lot of time and effort thinking about this stuff and doing it, and also I do appreciate you guys. You know, hey, don't forget to check out our sponsors. Their links and all their information is in the description below, as always. Big Mike's Motor Pool and RapcoParts.com. Both awesome companies. So, yeah, check you later.